Hi everyone, how are you today? Welcome to our English live class where we're going to learn English, speak with confidence, and of course, as always, have fun. How is your day going? Let me know in the comments. How are you today? I'm really excited to get started. Today we're going to be learning all about London and about living in England, what life is like there, and hopefully it will be a lot of fun. So that's the plan for today. So feel free to comment your name and how are you today? Let me know. I'm going to switch the slide. So nice to meet you. My name is Michaela and welcome to our English live class. Let me know in the comments, what is your name? Would you like to travel to the UK? And what would you most like to see and do in the UK? I'm very curious. Let me know in the comments. As always, it's great to have you here. My name is Michaela and I am all about learning English in a fun and easy way. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it so much. So let me know in the comments, what is your name? Would you like to travel to the UK? And what would you most like to see and do in the UK? And if you are watching this live stream even after it has ended, don't worry, I still want to hear your opinions. So comment away, let me know in the comments. Okay, I've got a first commenter. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to work both screens today. So we've got I don't know how to say the name. We got ZXY Berrioso. Hello, hi, thank you for being here. It's so lovely to have you here. Let me know in the comments, what is your name? Would you like to travel to the UK or have you already travelled to the UK? And what would you most like to see and do in the UK? Let me know in the comments. This is so exciting. I love doing lives with you guys. As always, happy Friday. Gearing up for the weekend, as always. Can you believe this is the last weekend of February? Because I can't. Time flies. You know, we are about to enter the third month of the year, guys. The third month of the year. Craziness to me, craziness. So thank you all for being here. So would you like to travel to the UK? So, for a bit of context about me, while you're putting your answers in the comment section, I was born and raised in the UK. I lived in the United Kingdom in England in a small town called Ipswich. It's about 1 hour and a half from London. I lived there with my mum, my dad, and my little brother, who's 4 years younger than me. And I lived in the UK until I was 19, and then I moved to Ecuador, which is where I live now. But London is probably my favourite part of my country, England, because it's got so much diversity. So many different cultures, so many amazing restaurants and places to eat and see different things. So it's definitely a really cool opportunity if you ever get the chance to travel there. Oh my goodness, we've got some amazing comments here. Let's have a little look what's going on. Happy Friday. Hi Julio, thanks for being here as always. You are a gem. Happy Friday. And you've then said Limiera, Brazil. Hi from Brazil. Hi from Ecuador. Amazing. And then who else we got? Hi, I'm going to try and say your name. Please excuse me if I say it incorrectly. Hi, I'm Zyriel Blake. I would like to travel to the UK and I would like to see Big Ben. Amazing! I love that for you. Today I will actually be teaching about Big Ben. So hopefully it will give you some more insight and fun facts about the monument. And Ian says, I would like to travel to England someday. Yes, that's great. That's great. I think you'll get the opportunity. And Julio says, England is very cold. Yes, it is very cold in the winter months. It's definitely very cold. But in the summer, it's so much warmer than it used to be. In England, it used to be -degrees, so -5, -6 in January, February, and then by April, it would be maximum 10 degrees. Now, sometimes our spring and summer are like 30 degrees Celsius. It gets really hot because of global warming, climate change, all of that jazz. So I'm here to help you understand all of that. Amazing. Okay, thank you for all of your comments. We'll get started then with today's lesson. So, London landmarks. Okay, so these are what I would call London staples. A staple is something that you must see, or it's like a must have, okay? So, Tower Bridge. Okay, Tower Bridge and London Bridge. There is a huge misconception that they are the same bridge. They are not the same bridge. London Bridge, I don't want to say it, but it's a disappointment, okay? London Bridge is a huge disappointment because it's just a tiny bridge. A lot of people mistake it for Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is the big one where the boats go in and out of the harbour and it opens like this for the big boats and the big ships, and it closes again and there are cars that go along it. London Bridge, it's just a bridge. You can walk along the sidewalk or you can drive, I believe, but it's not a good bridge, guys. Tower Bridge is the bridge you want to see. Then we have, of course, the iconic British flag. Okay, we're talking England, Scotland, and Wales here. Of course, the English flag is just a red and white cross. We have the double-decker bus. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is just so iconic of my country. So the double-decker bus. These are big red buses. Usually, sometimes in the summer, they have the top parts, the double parts, open air, so that you can actually just enjoy it without having to, without having any cover over. If it's not going to rain, they will often open those buses up because then you get to see a really nice view of London. So yeah, they're pretty iconic buses. The London Eye. I personally adore the London Eye from a distance. I've never gone on the London Eye, and I think that kind of makes me a bad British citizen because I have never been on the London Eye, but I do need to go. But I have seen it in person. We have the Shard. The Shard is this massive tall building and it has loads of levels with offices, with restaurants, with cafes. It's such a beautiful glass tower, and you get to a point, usually towards the top, where you have a whole panoramic view of the city of London. It's incredible. I went there with my mum for my 21st birthday and it was incredible. I would highly recommend going there. The King's Guard. Okay, so the King's Guard, they guard Buckingham Palace. They are the guys with the big hat things. I don't even know if we call them that, but they're both big hats and they're in these red suits, really all professional and everything. And then we have Buckingham Palace, of course, the iconic palace with our British royal family. They live there, so we're talking the King Charles, the Queen Consort Camilla, William, Kate and their 3 children. Who else lives there? A lot of the royal family lives there. Almost everyone, I think. And then we have black cabs. So a black cab, it's like a taxi, but it's usually really expensive. And it's the same as like a yellow taxi in America, but we have black cabs. We call them cabs. Cab, it's like a classier way of saying taxi, basically. And Big Ben, the iconic clock, also known as the Elizabeth Tower. In fact, originally it was supposed to be called Elizabeth Tower, but most people know it as Big Ben because of the bell inside it. So there you go. These are some London landmarks and of course the British flag. So let me know in the comments, which London landmark would you most like to see? Let me know in the comments section, which landmark would you most like to visit? Ian says, Amaguaña está más frío que Inglaterra últimamente. Yes, I agree. So he says in English, Amaguaña, so this is a city where we live, is a lot colder than England at the moment. And I have to agree. I would actually say England is a lot warmer right now, probably. And is it true that the King's Guard cannot move? This is true. It is true. I'm going to cough. I can confirm. Sorry, my throat. I can confirm that the King's Guard is in fact true. They cannot move. Only when they change the guard do they all move with a big band and big drums, but they actually cannot move. Of course, if they faint or if they need food and water, they change and everything, but when they are guarding the palace, they are guarding the palace for their lives, okay? So yeah, amazing. Okay, you guys, let me know which London landmark would you most like to see. Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hydrate. Sorry. Today I have a tickle in my throat. London landmarks. Tower Bridge. British flag. Double-decker bus. London Eye, the Shard, the King's Guard, Buckingham Palace, Black Cab and Big Ben. Which would you most like to see? Lord says, entender portugués? Do I understand Portuguese? Un poco? I don't know if that's the same. Entiendo español. I understand Spanish. I can read Portuguese sometimes. It depends on what's being said. But yes, I will try. I will try. Okay, amazing, guys. So, we got another comment. Julio says, London is not a big city geographically, but it has a lot of history. Absolutely. It has so much history, considering how small a country or even an island we are, right? It's crazy that we are so popular for London. So yes, pretty cool. Amazing, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some fun facts about a few of these landmarks. So first of all, we have Big Ben. Okay, fun fact, Big Ben is the nickname for the Great Bell in the Elizabeth Tower, not the tower itself. The bell weighs 13.5 tons and chimes every hour. This is true, I can confirm. Every single hour it will chime for however many hours there are. So for example, if it's 11 o'clock in the morning, it will chime 11 times. Okay, so it's pretty cool. Fun fact, the clock is known for its accuracy, often only being off by a few seconds. The tower was renamed Elizabeth Tower in 2012 to mark Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee, but unfortunately, the name never stuck. People still call it Big Ben because it's a lot more. Is the official residence of the British monarch in London. Monarch, it means like the royal family. It has 775 rooms, including 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 188 staff bedrooms, and 92 offices. Pretty remarkable for one family. That's a lot of staff too. And a fun fact, the Queen's changing of the guard ceremony at Buckingham Palace is one of the most famous tourist attractions in London. Of course, now it's actually called the King's changing of the guard, but some people still call it the Queen's because she was queen for so long. So it's kind of cool, kind of interesting. But yes, it's one of the most famous tourist attractions because it's a huge ceremony. Every day when it happens, I believe in the early afternoon, it happens, and all of the guards come out, like every single one that's working that day will come out, and there'll be a big band playing drums and everything, and all of the, what do you call them, like brass section, and it's craziness. It's like a whole orchestra. They go all the way around the palace, and then they change in the final section, and they all have to stand like this. It's really interesting. It's pretty cool. Let me know if you've got any questions about London or about England in the comments section. I will happily answer them for you. Okay, the next landmark, the London Eye. The London Eye was opened in the year 2000 to mark the turn of the millennium. So the millennium is what we called 2000 years. The millennium, a millennium is 1,000 years, but the turn of the millennium is like another 1,000 years. So it's been 2,000 years, 2 millennia. At 135 meters, so 443 feet, it was the world's tallest observation wheel until 2006. So only for 6 years, but it's still pretty impressive. Fun fact, the London Eye has 32 pods, one for each of the 32 London boroughs. These like neighbourhoods or councils, we could call them. Each pod can hold 25 people. They're huge things and offers incredible views of the city. So if you go there, I would highly recommend checking out the London Eye, although I have to admit I haven't yet been on the London Eye. But I have seen it from a distance and taken my photo with it. So yes. Julio says, London's expensive city. Yes, it's kind of expensive. I would say for housing and for people to live there, it's pretty expensive. And I would say from a tourism point of view as well, the prices are inflated, increased because it's a very popular area, but I would say it's totally worth it. So yes. England is expensive country to live. Yeah, it's more expensive than it used to be. I would say since coronavirus, the prices really went up, especially for things in general like food and water and, the daily necessities, rent for people who rent, or, just in general taxes went up. But I would still say that it's still a great place to live. I personally don't live there, but I would still say that it's still a lovely country if you want to live there, Okay, we'll move to the next one. Okay, let's move on. Let me know if you've got any more questions, everyone. Feel free to comment them in the comments section. There are 5 of you here. Thank you so much for being here. So, Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is not a suspension bridge, but a bascules and suspension bridge. Okay, what this means is the road head of the bridge can be raised to allow large ships to pass through the River Thames. Okay, and that part is suspended. The part that opens is suspended, but you've got the 2 towers as well, which are fitted into the ground. Fun fact, Tower Bridge opens about 1,000 times per year to allow ships to pass. It takes about 1 minute to raise the bridge to its full height. I remember watching a video with my boyfriend of it opening because he wanted to see if it opened. And I said, yeah, it opens. So we were having a conversation and I said to him, I will just put it on the TV so you can see it open. It was like this, really slowly. And I said to him, it's not a quick thing. He was like, oh, I'm disappointed now. So guys, it opens slowly, but it's pretty cool. It's still pretty iconic. Okay, awesome. And the Shard. The Shard is the tallest building in the UK at 310 metres, which is 1,016 feet. It has 95 floors and provides views of up to 40 miles on clear days. I saw it on a clear day and honestly, you can see 4 miles. You really can. Fun fact, the Shard is made up of 11,000 glass panels, and its distinctive shape is meant to resemble a shard of glass, which is why it's called the Shard. So let me know if you have any questions about these London landmarks. This is so much fun. I love doing live streams. And don't forget to grab a snack, grab some water, keep hydrated. And I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and comment your questions if you have any. And if you're watching this live, even after it has ended, please feel free to comment your questions. I will happily answer them for you. And on that note, let's move on. So tell me in the comments, what's the most famous landmark you've ever seen? How did it make you feel to be there in person? Have you ever visited a place that had an incredible impact on you or changed your perspective in life? What was it and how did it affect you? And do you believe that visiting historical landmarks helps people understand history better? Why or why not? So let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this even once the live has ended, please still comment. I will happily respond. So I will answer the questions while you are all typing in the chat. So the most famous landmark I've seen is probably, I've seen a lot, but I would say, if I had to say in the UK, I would say the Shard, because I've not only seen the Shard, but I've been in the Shard and gone up to the top, well, the top point that you possibly can of the Shard. And that was really cool. It was quite windy at the top, actually, because what people don't realise is from a distance, it looks completely enclosed. But actually at the top, there is some open ventilation. So it was quite windy when I went. How did it make me feel? A little bit scared because it was so high. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we went up in lots of lifts. It was insane. There were 2 levels, I think, that I could see out of. So that was really cool. Another famous landmark I've been to is in Paris. Of course, it's the iconic Eiffel Tower. And I also got the opportunity to go up in the lift to both sections, and that was an amazing view as well. But I was really lucky because I picked a time to go when it wasn't dark and it wasn't light. So it was gradually getting darker, the sun was setting. It was a really beautiful place to go at that time. Have you ever visited a place that has an incredible impact on you or changed your perspective in life? Oh, that's a difficult one. I would have to say Ecuador because it really has changed my life. My boyfriend's here. I have my whole life here now, so I would have to say Ecuador. But also visiting, I think it's called La Basilica. That was an amazing experience, and La Mitad del Mundo, which is a monument, which literally means the middle of the world, because we are Ecuador, right on the equator. And do you believe that visiting historical landmarks helps people understand history better? I do. I think sometimes when you see it in a book or you're just reading about it, it can be a little bit boring because you're not there. You're just looking at it. But actually being there, or going to the Louvre, going to the Eiffel Tower, going to the Houses of Parliament, or to the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, it opens your perspective. You get to see things firsthand. It's a first-hand experience. So pretty awesome. So let me know in the comments your answers to these questions. What's the most famous landmark you've ever seen? How did it make you feel to be there in person? Have you ever visited a place that had an incredible impact on you or changed your perspective in life? What was it and how did it affect you? And do you believe that visiting historical landmarks helps people understand history better? Why or why not? Feel free to comment in the comment section. I look forward to reading them. Moving on, we're going to take a look now at some idioms related to places and landmarks. Yay! So we have off the beaten path. This means or refers to places or experiences that are unique or not widely known, often hidden gems or unconventional spots. For example, we found a we found a quaint cafe off the beaten path during our trip to Paris. Okay, so that's a really nice idea. Quaint, it's like a little bit unusual, quirky, bit in the distance. In the heart of, this means the central or most important part of a place or area. For example, the hotel is in the heart of London, just a short walk from Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. So these are really good idioms. Off the beaten path, in the heart of. See if you can comment your own sentence using one of those idioms. Zayo says, how do I say it? Zerial says, I have seen the London Eye. It makes me feel excited. That's amazing. Good for you. That's so awesome that you've seen the London Eye. Amazing. So, off the beaten path, in the heart of. Let's move on to the next idioms. A landmark decision. This means a significant or historic decision that will have long-lasting effects. For example, the Supreme Court's ruling on marriage equality was a landmark decision in the country's history. And be a stone's throw away. This means very close or nearby. For example, the restaurant is just a stone's throw away from the museum, so we will walk there after the tour. So these are some more nice idioms. See if you can create a sentence using a landmark decision or be a stone's throw away. Carol says, I visited a museum. The impact was that I understood better the history of my country. That's amazing. That's so awesome. I love that for you. Thank you for sharing. That's so kind. Brilliant. And see if you can comment your own sentences using these idioms, everyone. And don't forget to grab a snack, enjoy and hydrate. Keep drinking lots of water. Moving on to the next idioms. All roads lead to Rome. This means there are many different ways to achieve the same goal or outcome. For example, whether you take the bus, the subway, or walk, all roads lead to the concert venue. And in the shadow of, this means to be overshadowed or dominated by something larger, more important, or more famous. For example, the small town is in the shadow of the towering mountain, but it has its own charm. Okay, so see if you can comment your own sentence using one of these idioms. All roads lead to Rome, in the shadow of. You're all doing so well. Thank you for being here. I see there's 4 of you. Amazing. It's so lovely to have you here as always. So I will move on. I'll just refresh. So we have off the beaten path, in the heart of, a landmark decision, be a stone's throw away, all roads lead to Rome, and in the shadow of. Great idioms to learn, very useful in English. So tell me in the comment section, if you could visit any city in the world, where would you go and why? What's the most interesting or unusual place you've ever been to? Why was it memorable? Do you prefer visiting popular tourist attractions or exploring hidden gems, and why? And if you had the chance to live in any part of the world for a year, where would it be and what would you want to experience there? So some quite interesting questions. I look forward to hearing your answers. Please comment away. While you all comment, I am going to tell you my answers. So, if I could visit any city in the world, at the moment, it would probably... Oh, that's really difficult. I would really love to visit other cities in Italy. I've only visited Milan, so maybe Rome? Rome, possibly. I would say Venice, but I think there's a lot of over tourism and the city is unfortunately slowly sinking. So I think I think Rome would be cool with all the history and it's a very interesting place I've heard. What's the most interesting or unusual place you've ever been to? The most interesting place I've been to has to be Ecuador. The culture is so different to England or to the UK. And I just love it so much. I think it's so amazing. The most unusual place I've been to here probably has to be, very difficult. I think everything was quite unusual, to be honest, to begin with, because the way of life is so different. Everything's slower paced. People are more talkative, maybe. Um, I would say a memorable experience I had was the first night I arrived in Ecuador because I remember we went to eat pizza and I remember it was like this really small place, but it serves good pizza. But I would say it was quite unusual because it was like a house, but it was also selling food, which is in England, that's a very strange thing because we just have restaurants and locals. We don't really have, people who live in the same place that they're serving. It's really interesting though. Very cool. Um, do you prefer visiting popular tourist attractions or exploring hidden gems? Oh, I like a combination of the both. Of both, not the both, sorry. I like a combination of both. I've been speaking too much Spanish today. Oh my goodness. I like a combination of both because, on the one hand, I like visiting tourist attractions because I think it's great for the historical outlook. You can post a picture and say, look where I am. That's pretty cool. But on the other hand, I think there's so much beauty in discovering hidden gems. For example, when I was in Milan, in Italy a few years ago, I went to, of course, Lake Como and explored the beautiful towns around it and, the wonderful lake. But I also found a secret lake. So I was one of those weird. I was weird really because I was in a hotel and I thought I'm going to see if there's a nearby lake. There wasn't one nearby, by the way. And I said to myself, I'll walk. I walked 2.5 hours and found a tiny lake, and it was so beautiful. There were quite a few people there actually, but only locals. So I felt really cool because I'd found the secret, and there were so many people swimming in there, and I had a little swim in there, and it was really cool, and lovely people. Sun was shining, it was great. It was great. It was like going to a park, but to a lake. It was really cool. So I would definitely say a combination of both. And if I had the chance to live in any part of the world for a year, where would it be and what would you want to experience? Sorry, today I feel like I'm tongue-tied. I'm so sorry. I think it's because I'm just happy to be here. So if I had the chance to live in any part of the world right now for a year, I would probably go and travel. I would love to travel Asia for a year or 6 months. I would love to do that. I have a little promise with my brother because he one day wants to move to Thailand. And I always said to him, if you ever move to Thailand, we will travel Asia first. And he was like, yeah, okay. So that's the plan. If he ever moves to Thailand, guys, I will update you, okay? And I will do a bit of traveling myself because that would be really cool. Going to China, going to Japan, to Thailand, to Singapore. I think it'd be awesome, to be honest. I think it'd be really cool. Awesome. So let me take a little look at your comments then, everyone. So let's see. The most interesting place I've been to is the Philippines. Oh, amazing. What was cool about the Philippines? Oh, the people there are very nice. That's so awesome. That's amazing. I'm glad that you had an amazing time there. That's awesome. I love that for you. I love that. Okay, I will move on. So we're going to take a little look at the difference between the words work and job. And it's quite funny to me because really and truly, there shouldn't be a difference. I understand, guys. It's hard. It's hard. I don't know why there's a difference. But there is, unfortunately. English likes to complicate things, but I'm here to help you out. So, work. Let's talk about work first of all. Okay. Work refers to any effort or activity that requires physical or mental exertion to achieve a goal or complete a task. For some context, it can be both paid and unpaid, and it doesn't always have to be tied to a specific position or employment. Work is more about the activity itself, not necessarily a job. For example, I have a lot of work to do at home this weekend. For a key point, work is a broader term. It can encompass any effort, whether professional, personal, or something you do in a hobby or as a hobby. Okay, for example, I work as a teacher. That's an example. That's a professional example. But I could also say I am working on my homework, for example. And I could also say to you, for example, I have a lot of I have a lot of study work to do, for example. So there are many ways that you can use it. Okay, so that's the meaning of work. Carol says, I would go to Santa Martha or Cartagena. I hope I'm saying that right, Cartagena, I can't remember. Because they are cities of my country, but I don't know. Amazing, that sounds lovely. Thank you for sharing. Love it. So yes, now you know work is general. It's broad, okay? Work is general, okay? Then job. It's more specific. A job is a paid position or a specific role that someone holds in an organization or company. It involves regular responsibilities and duties that one performs for compensation, for salary, wages, or benefits. For context, a job refers to a particular employment role that usually comes with a title, tasks, and a set of responsibilities. For example, I just started a new job as a marketing manager. A key point to know, a job is more formal, specific term referring to the role you hold within a company or organisation. So just remember, work is general. Okay, work is general. It can be talking about professional, personal activities or tasks, hobbies. Job is specific. It's talking about a paid position or a specific role that you are doing for an organisation or company and receiving some form of compensation, salary, wages, or benefits. Okay, guys, let me know if you've got any questions about this. Carol says, I visited Islas Margarita in Venezuela. It's a beautiful island. It was my first trip to another country. That's incredible. I've never been to Venezuela. I sure as ever would love to go someday. So that's a fantastic suggestion. I will definitely have to one day visit Venezuela and see those islas for myself. Amazing, everyone. Amazing. So we will move on and see the differences. So the main differences between work and job. Work, as I said before, can be any task or activity, paid or unpaid. That requires effort, while a job is a specific role or position within an organisation that typically involves regular tasks for compensation. You can have work without having a job. For example, volunteering work, housework, hobbies, but a job always involves work. And an example, you might do a lot of work on your job as a teacher, for example. For example, your work could include, in my case, preparing lessons, grading papers, and attending meetings. But your job is the position of teacher at a school. So, in my case, I could say, I'm a teacher, that's my job. But what do I do for work? I grade papers, I prepare lessons, and attend meetings. And of course, I do live streams, guys, and I make videos. So that's my work, but my job, my profession is teaching English. Okay, let me know if you've got any questions about this. I'll leave it up for a minute or so more. And feel free to comment your questions as well, even if the live stream has ended. I will happily answer them for you. And everyone, don't forget to grab a snack, hydrate, and enjoy the session. This is a chilled, happy, friendly, slow-paced way to end a Friday. I don't know why my bottle always makes so much noise, but there you are. Okay, amazing, guys. I'm going to move on, but please comment if you have a question. So let's try an exercise. You've got to choose work or job for each of the gaps. She loves her because it allows her to be creative every day. Number 2, I have a lot of to do this weekend, including some household chores and a project for work. Number 3, his as a teacher requires him to stay after school to help students. Number 4, I'm looking for that will give me more freedom and flexibility. Number 5, my involves meeting clients and managing projects. Number 6, you should focus on finishing the most important first. Number 7, after she got a promotion, her became much more demanding. And number 8, it's important to balance your and personal life to avoid burnout. See if you can comment your answers. Do we need to write work or job to fill each gap? Let me know in the comments. And even if you are watching this after the live stream has ended, please follow along. It's great to have you here and it's great practice. And it's great for me to see what you know and what you don't so that I can help you further to improve your English. That is my role, that is my goal. So yeah, guys, work or job? Work or job? I'll give it a couple of minutes before I answer. Thank you to the 4 of you that are here. It's wonderful to have you here this fine Friday afternoon, evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Just have a go. Work or job? I'm so happy because today it's been sunny here and it's been raining all week. So it was such a nice change to see the sun came out. Let me know what the weather's like in your country. Work or job? I'll give you a minute or so more and then I will let you know the answers. Okay, I'm going to get started with answering them. So, number 1, she loves her job because it allows her to be creative every day. That's the answer for the first one. Number 2, I have a lot of work to do because it's non-specific this weekend, including some household chores and a project for work. Number 3, his job as a teacher, because it's a paid position, requires him to stay after school to help students. Number 4, I'm looking for work that will give me more freedom and flexibility. The reason why it's work here is because we can't say, we could say work or job here, really. We could say I'm looking for work, or we could say I'm looking for a job. It depends. We don't know if this person is looking for something unpaid or something paid. So we can't be certain. So it could be work or a job here. Number 5, my work involves meeting clients and managing projects because it's talking about things you do within that role. Number 6, you should focus on finishing the most important, I would say, this one could be either, I would say work, probably, work first, or job, really, both of those could work. After she got a promotion, her job became much more demanding, because we're definitely talking about a paid position here, because this lady here has a promotion, which means a salary increase, more money. And number 8, it's important to balance your work and personal life to avoid burnout. But a few of those could really be work or job, because we're not entirely sure on the specifics in some of them. We got a new comment. Shandon Plays 76 says, hello, hi, thank you for being here. We are just looking at work versus job. I will just run through the answers one more time for anyone who didn't hear the first time. She loves her job because it allows her to be creative every day. I have a lot of work to do this weekend, including some household chores and a project for work. Number 3, his job as a teacher requires him to stay after school to help students. Number 4, I'm looking for work, or I'm looking for a job that will give me more freedom and flexibility. My work or my job involves, this one has to be work. My work involves meeting clients and managing projects, because we're talking about things associated with a job. Number 6, you should focus on finishing the most important work first. Number 7, after she got a promotion, her job became much more demanding. And number 8, it's important to balance your work and personal life to avoid burnout. Well done. If you got those all correct, let me know in the comment section if you did. We will now move on, and I would like you to tell me in the comments, do you prefer living in a big city or a small town? What are the benefits of each for you? Number 2, have you ever visited a place that felt like it was in the heart of nature? What did you enjoy most about being there? And number 3, in your opinion, what makes a city feel truly alive? Is it the culture, the people, the landmarks, or something else? Let me know in the comments, and while you do, I will let you know my answers. So personally, I prefer both. I grew up in a small town called Ipswich in England, so I would say that coming from a small town, I was very interested in the city in my teenage years. So I definitely loved exploring big cities like Paris, London, Milan. Where else did I go? I went many places. Turkey, Egypt. That's a country, sorry. Turkey, I went to Antalya, Egypt, Agada. So definitely there's benefits to both. I would say in a small town, it's more friendly. People know each other better. But big cities are better to find work and to find friendships, maybe. Have you ever visited a place that felt like it was in the heart of nature? Yes, I have. When I was younger, from the age of about 2 or 3, maybe younger, I don't remember. I'm only being told this, but I do remember that I loved spending time in the mountains in Malaga, España, in Spain. I had the best time. I used to go every single holiday to stay with my grandparents in the mountains of Malaga in Spain, and it was so beautiful. We used to have to push goats out of the way when we wanted to go and get water. The water used to be fresh mountain water that you had to twist a tap, and all of the water came out. The only downside to that was the water was surrounded by wasps, but it was pretty iconic. And in my opinion, what makes a city feel truly alive? The people. I think it's the people. You could have the most beautiful, architecturally sound, artistic city, but it's the people that make it what it is. I would say the culture as well, but the culture comes from the people. So I think that's my point. Let me take a little look. Sorry, I've been gone. That's fine. You haven't missed much. I was just going to ask these questions, so let me know in the chat. Do you prefer living in a big city or a small town? What are the benefits of each for you? Have you ever visited a place that felt like it was in the heart of nature? What did you enjoy most about being there? And in your opinion, what makes a city feel truly alive? Is it the culture, the people, the landmarks, or something else? Let me see. Carol has commented. Carol says, I prefer living in a small city. Big ones seem too chaotic for me, or to me. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. Chaos is everywhere, but I understand that these cities offer more job opportunities and are better for tourism. Absolutely. I think there's definitely upsides and downsides to both small towns, big cities, urban areas, rural areas. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your lovely opinion. I'll just give it a minute or so more to see if anyone else would like to comment. And if you're watching this live stream, even after it has ended, please still comment. I will happily respond, and I'm always interested in your opinions. And hydrating. Make sure to hydrate, everyone. Amazing. Awesome. Okay, I will now move on. So we're going to look at homophones. There are so many in the English language. So I'm going to break down the 10 most common homophones. So first of all, we have there, and there. So we have there, T-H-E-R-E. This refers to a place or location, or is used in phrases like there is or there are. For example, the book is over there on the table. There, T-H-E-I-R, is a possessive adjective showing ownership. For example, this is their car, meaning it belongs to them. The car belongs to them. And there is an abbreviation. It's a contraction of they are. So you could say they're coming over for dinner tonight, or you could say they are coming over for dinner tonight. So that's the difference between there, and there. See if you can comment your own example in the comments section. Then we have to, and to. To, T-O, is a preposition indicating direction, place, or position. For example, I'm going to the store. To, double O, T-O-O, means also or excessively. For example, I'd like some pizza too, or this shirt is too big. So in the first example, I'd like some pizza too, we're saying I would also like some pizza. And in the second example, this shirt is too big, it's saying it's very big, it's excessively big, it doesn't fit me, it's too big for me. And to, T-W-O, is the number 2. I have 2 brothers, for example. See if you can comment your own example using to, or to. Then we have brake and brake. Brake, B-R-A-K-E, is a device used to stop a vehicle or to slow down. For example, don't forget to check the brake before driving. But break, B-R-E-A-K, is to separate into pieces or a pause. For example, I need a break after working all day. See if you can comment an example using break or break. Bare or bare. Bare, B-A-R-E, means without covering or clothing. It means uncovered. For example, he walked barefoot on the bare ground. Barefoot means without shoes. On the bare ground, it means there's nothing on the ground. Bear, B-E-A-R, is a large animal or to carry something. For example, the bear wandered into the campsite, or she can't bear the thought of leaving. So the first one, the bear wandered into the campsite. This is a large animal. She can't bear the thought of leaving. This means she can't carry the weight of leaving. She can't take it. It's too much for her. So see if you can comment and example using bear or bear. I will read your answers at the end, okay? So anyone who comments, I will read your homophones at the end. So see if you can comment for bear or bear. Knight and knight. So K-N-I-G-H-T. A man of high rank in historical times, often associated with chivalry. The example, the knight wore a shiny suit of armour. Fun fact about this word, in the past it was pronounced knight in ancient times, but we then changed it to just knight. So once upon a time, in archaic times, it was knight, but now we just say knight. And night, N-I-G-H-T, is the time when it's dark and we usually sleep. For example, I love watching movies at night. See if you can comment an example using night. And then we have sell and sell. Sell, S-E-L-L, means to exchange something for money. For example, she decided to sell her old books. Cell, C-E-L-L, is a small room or a biological unit in living organisms. For example, he spent years in a prison cell. This means a small prison room. But the human body has many types of cells. This means it has many tiny organisms living inside of us. Feel free to comment your responses. See if you can comment a sentence using cell or cell. I will read all comments at the end of this part. Sea or sea. Sea, S-E-A, a large body of salt water. For example, I love swimming in the sea during the summer. And then we have sea, S-E-E. This means to visually perceive something. For example, I can see the mountains from my window. See if you can comment an example using sea or sea. Then we have write or write. Write, W-R-I-T-E. This means to form letters, words, or text. For example, I like to write in my journal every day. We then have right, R-I-G-H-T. This means correct or a direction, opposite of left. For example, you were right about the weather. Turn right at the corner. So in the first sentence, you were right about the weather. It means you were correct. It rained, for example. Turn right at the corner. This is a direction, left and right, that sort of thing. See if you can comment your own example using right or right. Remember the W is silent in the first one. Then we have complement and compliment. There is a slight change in the homophone here. So compliment, compliment. Okay, so you can, it's le and le. Okay, it's really, really small, a really, really small variation. So complement with le, complement. This is something that completes or enhances another thing. For example, the wine is a perfect complement to the cheese. But compliment, le, complement, is a polite or nice remark. For example, she gave me a nice compliment about my outfit. Very tricky to say those words. Compliment, compliment. See if you can create your own sentence using either one of those. Homophones. And we also have capital and capital. Capital is a city that serves as the seat of government or a large sum of money. For example, Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. Capitol is a building where the government meets. For example, the Senate meets in the Capitol building. There's a slight variation. Capital, Capitol. All. Really slight, but a subtle difference. Capital, Capitol. See if you can comment a sentence using one of those as well. So that's all of them, you guys. That's all of them. So I will just briefly go back and say them all one more time, and then I will read all of your lovely comments, giving me examples of the homophones. So there, and there. Two, two. Break and break. Bear. Night. Remember, no K. Night. Sell and sell. See and see. Write and write. Of course, here again, no W, just write, just the R. Compliment. Slight variation, le. Compliment. Compliment. It sounds the same when you say it fast. And capital. All. Capital. So now I will take a little look at your lovely comments. Let me take a little look. So we have brake. I can't stop the brakes of my car. Excellent. Fantastic example. I couldn't bear to the smell of his socks. Very good. Very close. You just want to say, I couldn't bear the smell. You don't need to. Just, I couldn't bear the smell, but very good. The stars under the night sky. Fantastic. She was about to sell my favourite book. Brilliant. Well done, you. And I found a shell by the sea. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your wonderful answers. Fantastic. Okay. So, see if you can fill the gaps with the correct homophone. Okay, so number 1, I love to visit the CSEA or CSEE during my vacation. Number 2, please make sure to write WRITE or write RIGHT, the answer clearly. Number 3, the restaurant is just a stone's throw or stone's through. This is a test on an idiom we looked at earlier, away from here. He couldn't bear, BEAR, or bear, BARE, the cold weather anymore. And number 5, the knight was very brave and fought for the right or right cause, RIGHT or WRITE cause. Let me know in the comments. I'll give you about a minute and then I will go through them with you. You're all doing amazing. You're all doing so well. Got to choose fill in the blanks with the correct homophone. I'll give it a minute or so more and then I will go through them. Let's see. Okay. I've got to go now. That's okay. Thank you so much for joining. It's been such a pleasure having you here today. And thank you for all of your lovely comments. Have a great evening or day wherever you are in the world. So I will go through them. I love to visit the CSEA during my vacation. Number 2, please make sure to write WRITE, the answer clearly. Number 3, the restaurant is just a stone's throw away from here. Fun fact, this idiom does not really change in the past tense. So we're just going to use the present tense here. Number 4, he couldn't bear, B-A-R-E, the cold weather anymore because it means he couldn't take it. And the knight was very brave and fought for the right cause, R-I-G-H-T. Let me know in the comments if you got those all correct. I see that Carol, amazing. You've got them right. Perfect. Well done you. Amazing. Thank you so much for your comments. Brilliant. We will move on. So tell me in the comments, how do you think traveling will change in the future? Do you think technology will play a bigger role in how we experience landmarks? Question 2, if teleportation existed, what landmarks or places would you visit first and why? And number 3, do you think people will still travel to historical landmarks as much in the future? Or will technology change how we experience history? Let me know in the comments, and even if you're watching this after the live has ended, I always want to hear from you, so let me know. In my personal view, I will give you my opinions while you type your comments. I think in the future, travel will become even more accessible. And what I mean by that is right now, yes, we've got airplanes, yes, we have cars, yes, we have trains, yes, we have buses. But I mean by accessibility is that it will be easier for certain groups of people to travel, because at the moment, it just isn't. For people with disabilities, and for elderly people, it's still hard to travel. So I think in the future, there will be better access arrangements on airplanes for these groups of people, and a lot more understanding of what they go through and how to help them with their conditions. I do believe technology will play a bigger role in how we experience landmarks. I think in the future, maybe we'll get like pop-up screens of like history of the landmark, or play a video game that tells you history about it to engage kids. I think it could be really fun. Number 2, if teleportation existed, what landmarks or places would you visit first and why? Oh, okay. I would definitely have to visit the Great Wall of China. I would also have to teleport myself onto the London Eye because I want to go, and I've never been up the London Eye. I've just seen it from a distance. Do you think people will still travel to historical landmarks as much in the future? Or will technology change how we experience history? This is a tricky question. I do believe that the way we explore history will change. I think things will change in terms of new landmarks will appear and older ones won't be acknowledged as much. I think there will always be new technology. There will always be new staple marks in history. So I think history will always be relevant because it's connected to our present and future. Without history, we can't keep going. So I would say those things. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comments section. I'm really curious to know. let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Not again. I drink water too fast today. So, moving on to our final slide. Thank you for joining my live stream today. As always, it has been a wonderful time, getting to know you, having conversation with you guys. I really love what I get to do, and I love this little community we're building on Fridays. Yes, I'm regular here. So just let me know in the comments, what have you learned today? Do you believe there's a place in the world that everyone should visit once in their lifetime? What is it and why? And what are your plans for the weekend? Because I'm really curious and nosy. Let me know in the comments. What I've learned today is that I've learned a lot today. I've learned especially about different cultures, I feel. Especially when Carol mentioned about Las Islas. What were they called? Las Islas Margarita. And it sounds really cool that Santa Martina is part of your country. That's really awesome. I've learned as well. I've learned a lot today. So yes. Carol says, thank you for your time. You're welcome. It's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. If you think of any suggestions for future live streams, let me know. I'm here to help you and to help you feel comfortable and ready to succeed. That's my main goal. And let me know, what are your plans for the weekend? My plans for the weekend are... hadn't really thought that far ahead. Well, tomorrow morning I will teach a few one-to-one sessions with some clients, and then in the afternoon I hadn't really figured that out yet, so yeah, there's a table tennis tournament. I think I might go to that, and then on Sunday I will be going to probably eat pizza with my boyfriend, because we wanted to on Valentine's Day a few weeks ago, but it was carnival here, so we couldn't go that weekend. Then we went to the following weekend and we still couldn't eat pizza at Papa John's, because they had a queue of 40 pizzas for some people. So we said, no, we'll go another week. So it's typical, but it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, guys, I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. If you think of any suggestions for future live streams, please let me know. I'm here to help you. Learning English is a journey, and I am so grateful that you've invited me to come along with you for the ride. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you once again for being here. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share it with an English learning friend, and let me know in the comments how I can support you best and what more you need from me. Thank you for being here, everyone, and happy Friday. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.